Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Now, here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, with you tuning in on the radio dial in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM. We welcome you. Also, those joining us through our online affiliates around the world. We're glad to have all of you with us as well. We're excited to welcome Tony Estrada to our program today. Tony is a filmmaker, producer, director, and writer. We're going to talk to him not only about what it's been like for him to share his passion with you all on screen through popular projects like Bridesman, but also what it's been like for him to share his thoughts in writing as well. If you're just hearing about Tony's projects, we'll tell you at the end of our segment how you can be able to stay connected with him. But Tony, hello to you and welcome to the program.
Hi, Cyrus. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Well, look, I appreciate the time, Tony. Congratulations to you. I mean, you've already, of course, had an amazing 2017. I know there's a lot of more great things to come. We'll talk about that. Tony, talk to us about this journey that you've been on, especially over the past year and a half. I mean, what has it been like for you to not only to have your work recognized, but also, of course, to be able to do work that you enjoy?
I mean, really, it's been incredible. It's been such an incredible ride. I've just enjoyed it so much. Seeing how sort of challenging it was to start out and get just to this point and finally get some sort of, I don't want to say finally, but getting the gratification that we've been getting, from our peers and whatnot has really been satisfactory, knowing that, we were able to really reach out to our peers and to audiences and really be sort of accepted for the first time. That felt really gratifying and really awesome. And just knowing that the work that we're putting in is starting to get recognized. And, I really, really love that. And that was feeling great.
Yeah. Tony, I'm glad you mentioned the work because I think, for people who look at what you've been able to achieve, when, as they look at the end result, a lot of times they don't always remember the work that goes into getting to that place. Do you think because you have been so passionate about storytelling and about writing that is one of the reasons why your work is being recognized the way it is now?
I that's always been my basis for the way I work is let my passion, let my what it is I really feel and how I believe really come through my work. And I think, having done personal work on myself, really aligning how I felt about things, about what I really feel passionate about, has finally allowed that to come through in my work. And I think that's what has finally started to get recognized, is that the work that I've done on myself and personal reflection and improvement has really started to align with how it is I really feel about things, and again, really project it through my work. And to me, that's again one of the most satisfying things that I could feel.
Right. So take us back a little bit. I found out a lot about you when I was prepping for your segment, Tony. One of the things I did in prepping was I watched the interview you did this year with AfterBuzz TV. And I think one of the things that people might find surprising is that it's not that you always said that filmmaking is what I wanted to do, even though you had an interest in it. When did you know, though, that you were willing to do the work, that you were willing to commit to you being able to do work? When did you first realize that for yourself?
I think just going back to my childhood, baseball was always something that really was something I was really passionate about, and never, in my own mind at least at the time, never feeling good enough was, yet loving something so much and wanting to be so successful at it, really pushed me hard to be successful at it. And that was when I first recognized the sort of work ethic that I had, and learning it from my family and from my grandparents and from my parents, and then really putting that into practice. But then once my career actually started with film, when I started with my first project, Martha Cook, that's when I really started to recognize just how passionate I was about this. And then when I went to MGM and was reading scripts, and some of the executives would be asking me, why are you still here? What is the point? When the lights were shut off, it was just, I just loved it so much I couldn't get enough of it. That's what served me so much, is that I just have fallen so in love with what I do that I can't help but just keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And it's really what makes me get up every morning. It makes me so passionate about what I do.
Yeah, and I think anyone who has a passion, Tony, they can definitely relate to that. I want to say for those who are just tuning in, he's on the radio side or online, you're listening to Conversations Live. Tony Estrada is our guest for the segment. He's not only a filmmaker, but someone who's great at being able to share stories through film, but also to be able to share his writings with us as well. We'll talk more about that. The project that a lot of people know Tony for is called Bridesman. Now, Tony, to go to Bridesman for a moment, could you have imagined, I mean, when you first began this project, that it would be recognized the way that it has been?
The honest answer is yes. I knew I just knew something inside of me said that this was something special. That taking the personal experience and putting it into a movie, yet making it so it's accepted by wide audiences. Something inside of me said that this was going to click with people. That this would resonate with people. And that's why I was so passionate and really, I just didn't hold back when it came to making sure that it happened and making sure that, we put our best foot forward in doing it the best way that we could. And that's why I felt so great about it just throughout the whole process. And then just the people we brought on, it was just like, it was all forming to get to this place that it's gotten to. And that just, again, it just was a perfect process all along, and I couldn't be happier with it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that pause before you answered. I think, I think for any creative though, Tony, that you do kind of know, right? I mean, when you're in something that's good, that it just feels right. I mean, that you just know that this is something that people are going to be able to enjoy. The story behind it is interesting. For those who don't know, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But I do want to say this about, what you were able to do, too, and that is to be able to rally people around the project. Talk to us about that. What was that like for you to share it with the world and to be able to see the way that people around the world are responding to it?
To go about the team, I mean, the team that we had on was incredible. I am so incredibly thankful to them for everything they do, from my producer and my good friend Jonah Ward to the cinematographer Josh Lipton, and to our other producer Margaret Ward and Peter Williams. Everyone was just so invested in it and just cared so much about it. And then when we got the crew on set, again, everyone just cared more and more about it, and it was just like, wow, what are we doing here that's so special that people just want to be a part of it, and not only that, but give us 10 times more than what they give other projects. It was just amazing. And then once Mr. Trejo came on board and started doing all the other stuff he did for us on radio, on TV, that again just spoke to what we had created and the environment that we had created, and that again was just so incredibly gratifying, and again just spoke to the volumes of the quality of the people that we hired and the people that wanted to be a part of this, and how they just help perpetuate this forward and get that feeling onto the screen. Because every time I watch it, every time I share it with people, I just feel that the love, the passion, the heart that went into it comes through on the screen. And that again is something, as a filmmaker, as a creative, I could not be more grateful for, and I could not love more than what we did.
Yeah. And what a great thing. And I think, too, going to the actual story, Bridesman, I mean, people might have an idea of what it, for those who have not actually had a chance to see it. Tony, so why don't you tell them a little bit about the premise? Because, again, going back to the interview you did with AfterBuzz TV, I mean, I think people might be kind of surprised to know that there was a little bit of connection that you felt with this story.
Yeah. So, on a very sort of logline level, it's about a brother and sister who grew up being best friends after their parents divorced, and the sister asked her brother to be maid of honor at the wedding. He's this kind of bro-y alpha male guy who hates the guy that she's marrying for no apparent reason, and she asked him to throw the bachelorette party, and he doesn't know what to do because he doesn't have money and doesn't have ideas of what to do. So he ends up hiring Mexican day laborers to be the strippers at the party. And from there, he learns about family and what it means to be a part of something bigger. So me being asked to be maid of honor didn't happen. Me hiring day laborers to be strippers didn't happen. But what did happen was the initial dislike I had for my brother-in-law, which was completely unwarranted and came out of nowhere other than my own insecurities. So I just put that on screen, and literally I mean, you could probably chalk up 90% of the dialogue to being actual conversations I had with my sister, with my brother, with my mom and dad about my situation, and really about this whole transformation I had personally with recognizing what masculinity really was, what being part of a family really was, what loving someone more than yourself really meant. And not only that, but then I just included bits and pieces of my culture of growing up Mexican and American and just threw that in. And, you know, it just all happened to come together in this really nice way.
You know, I think that goes to, and I think is a great segue, Tony, to the writing as well, that there's something about the arts that has a way of breaking down barriers, whether it's music, whether it's film, television, writing, that even though we might look at something and say, I can't necessarily relate to every aspect of this, we can see slivers of something that we can relate to and everything. Has that been one of the rewarding things for you as a creative, to know that you're creating something that is personal for you, that you're passionate about, but that other people can connect with?
Yes, and that is why Bridesman, along with my writing that I've been doing also, has really pushed me even farther because, you know, with Bridesman, the idea was to make a story that everyone could relate to. This family just happened to be, you know, Mexican Americans. That was it. And I wanted to make a very modern American story, which was, you know, you can pick 10 people who have sisters, and, you know, I'm sure one of them has hated the brother-in-law or whomever that person's going to marry. And it's like, you know, someone could connect with that automatically. And then just, you know, the central theme of just, you know, really knowing what it means to be part of the family, what it really means to love someone in your family. I was just, that just connected with me. And then with my writing, it's the same thing. It's, you know, we all have a innate need to feel that we belong and feel like we're a part of something bigger. And through my writing, that's what I've really been trying to get to, is how do I make people feel that not only do we see their opposing viewpoints, but we make them feel accepted and build towards a greater cause, because that is what I really, really am after, is, you know, seeing different sides of every story and then pushing people together to a greater cause to achieve something really, really wonderful.
Right. And that achieving something wonderful is something that is so great as well. You know, I mentioned earlier about the response. The Internet has been, I mean, we say on this program all the time, Tony, we use responsibly and respectfully. The Internet and social media can be an amazing tool. Talk to us about that for you, how you found social media to really be an asset for you when it comes to especially promoting a project like Bridesman.
Yeah, I mean, with our incredible cast and everyone that's been associated with it, you know, it's really been able to grow the fan base for Bridesman. And moreover, with the interviews that Mr. Trejo did, you know, with KTLA here in LA and along with some radio shows he did here, you know, we're able to share that information with people that may have no idea about it. And, you know, hearing these radio hosts or these TV anchors talk about our project and then laughing and giggling at the idea of it and hearing the ideas and pushing those forward allows us to say, hey, look at the response these people are getting. Here you go, rest of social media. This is the response we're getting. You should check out our movie. And, you know, hopefully that just keeps carrying on. And to go along back to the cast and the crew, it's the more that they've engaged with it, you know, the more their friends have engaged with it and their friends' friends have engaged with it. And again, we're getting awesome new viewers that we would have never gotten in any other way, which is awesome.
Right, for sure. And it sets you up in a great way too, Tony. We always talk about in this program about how, you know, we're not isolated from the world, that, you know, all of us have gifts. It really is up to us to be able to recognize those gifts. And then, of course, you know, there's different degrees as to how those gifts are used. But you are showing people by your own life, by your own example, what is possible. What has it been like for you to hear from people who are inspired by you and who are empowered by you to keep going for their own goals and dreams based on what you've been able to do?
It has been so incredibly gratifying. I can't even begin to describe to you how it feels every time I receive a text, a message from a family member or friend that just says, you know, you are really inspiring me. You're doing exactly what you want to do. Keep doing it and keep making sure that you do it because it's empowering other people. And the way I've seen switches flip in people, you know, whether it's a family member or whether it's a friend, and seeing them take on a new project or something that they really care about because, or not because of, but in light of what I've done, or because they saw a bit of inspiration, that is amazing to me, because that is exactly, I am so invested in seeing people live life to their fullest potential and getting every inch of themselves they can, that every time I receive something like that, that just goes to show me you're doing the right thing. You are getting the most out of people, and you are helping people to realize things about themselves that they never saw. And the more that I can do that, the more I just get more impassioned and more love for what I do, because that means if I can have this effect on just my inner circle, just think about what I can do once I get on a grander stage and I'm able to really impact people's lives the way that I really, really want to, and really make people help people feel empowered and inspired to live out their dreams.
Yeah, and what a powerful thing that is. We have to talk about the no's, Tony, because I think whether they are real or not, whether we've actually gotten them or we just are afraid of getting it, so we just don't do anything, it is out there. How have you not allowed the idea of no, or the idea of the lack of support, how have you not allowed that to stop you?
That's a really fun question. When I first started out, you get a lot of no's and you take them really hard. But the thing is with these no's that come, you just start to build up a base, a resistance toward these no's, and recognize that the more that you continue forward, the more that those no's don't affect you, because there's always an alternative door out there. There's a new path that you're being shown, and that's the path in which you need to take. And, I'm so grateful for every no, because it helped me to really learn from it. It helped me to really understand why I was told no, or why I was being denied something, and really made me look inside every single time and really continue to grow and develop myself. And that's why I'm so grateful. As much as I don't like the no's, I'm so grateful that they exist.
Yeah, wow, what a great thing. And what a great reminder, I think, for all of us, because not everyone is going to think what we're doing is so great. Not everyone is going to see what we see as the vision of the big picture. So I think to be able to come to that for yourself is so important, and also knowing about the other avenue. And I think too, timing is such an important thing as well, and that'll lead us into the writing here. Talk to us about the empowerment factor, because as you said, having the success that Bridesman has gotten definitely has to give you not only, of course, confidence, but also some clout as you move forward. You've been able to share your writing now. Talk to us about that and what you've been able to do in using your writing to be able to speak to what's going on in the world.
Yeah, the more that I've clarified myself and what I felt, the more I've been able to really speak to a grander message and to a grander idea. I've felt that the more that I've engaged with it and really spoken what I truly deeply feel that could help out, the people around me, the people that read my writing, the more motivated I become to just keep doing it and to keep finding new ways and keep finding new perspectives, research new things, read new books that keep helping to push my perspective forward so that I can find new ways to continue to bring people together toward a common goal.
Right. And that common goal is so important, because I think if the world is teaching us anything these days, it's that you can definitely get more accomplished together. And I think that is the great thing that you've been able to show as well. And not only be able to do it in your profession, but in life. I love the fact that twice now in this conversation you've talked about the connection between your growth personally and how that has affected you professionally. Do you think that has been one of the biggest achievements or successes for yourself, how you've been able to find that connection through your life and now share it in your work?
Yes, absolutely. I'm so grateful to my mentors, specifically one of my mentors, Michael Nicklin, who's been such a key factor in helping me develop my personal growth. And in that personal growth, I keep finding out new things about life. I'm not so angry. I'm not upset. I'm not fearful. I just keep growing more and more certain about what it is I want. Specifically, what it is, my subconscious, what it is, my greater desire is out there for the world. The more that I clarify that within myself, the more I'm able to speak to more people about it. And And people, not only that, but people respond positively to it. And again, it's just like, it just continues to show me the more that I work on myself, the more that I really develop a solid base, the better I am for the rest of the world, the better I am, you know, to my family, the better I am to my friends. And again, that's why I just love doing this work. It's not easy. It's super painful sometimes, but it is such a necessity to really, I know that if I really, really want to have the impact that I want to have, it's going to come down to me and developing and continuously developing my feelings, my thoughts, my true laws that I hold close to myself and my morals and ethics. So that's why I find it so important. And so that's why I think the success has started to show itself to me, is just because of that reason.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think, you know, that is, again, that's such a big thing. And it says a lot, too, again, about what you've been able to achieve, Tony, and also the recognition that you're able to give along the way. And also, again, as I said earlier, the example you're able to set for other people as to what's possible for them. You know, I've been trying to focus really hard this year on being in the moment and enjoying the present and all that good stuff. Of course, I think I, like a lot of creatives, though, we're always looking forward to what's to come, to what's next. So I have to ask you then, what's next? I mean, what are you looking forward to next?
I got a couple things in the docket. I have a couple more articles that I'm refining right now to get out there, as well as a short film that we're looking to shoot towards the end of the year called Viva the Revolution. And then we're also continuously developing Bridesman, and that's moving at a very quick pace right now. Bridesman, the feature, which is moving at a really quick pace right now, and that I'm really focused on and really, you know, finding new avenues to make happen. So that's exactly where I'm at right now.
So then, Tony, let our audience know. I mean, we're going to, of course, let you tell them how to stay connected with you and how to keep up with the updates. But what advice do you give them out there who are looking at where they are and thinking about where they want to go? What advice would you give them about the importance of not only, of course, having the goal or the vision, but doing the work necessary for that goal or vision?
Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing I've come to in the last few years or so is the clearer, more refined, and more the clearer your intention is, the clearer your ask is, the better results you'll see. Which is, you know, the more that you work for the world, the more that you give, the more that you love, the more that you'll see the world around you just seems to grow. The opportunities just seem to open up to yourself. Now, in that, with that being said, it doesn't the great stuff doesn't happen without the work. The great stuff doesn't happen without hitting a few obstacles and then finding out, oh, wait, I'm actually supposed to be on this path. Let's go down that. And, you know, it's finding those alternative routes to still get to the same place, and just recognizing that, again, that clear-cut intention mixed in with grit and just general hard work is going to get you to exactly where it is you want to be, and feeling incredible all the time.
Right. Wow. Well, I tell you, that's great for them to be able to consider for sure, and we really appreciate you sharing that, as well as appreciate this conversation today, Tony. So let our audience know, how can they stay connected with you and updates on Bridesman and also your writings as well? Yeah,
so you can go to my website, www.officialtonyestrada.com. You can follow me on Instagram at GetDonde, GetDonde. You can also follow me on Facebook at Tony Estrada, or you can also go to the Bridesman official Facebook page at Facebook Bridesman Movie.
Wow. All right. So, Tony, congratulations to you again. Thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it, and looking forward to staying connected with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for this. This was awesome.
So, look, I appreciate that, and we appreciate you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Make sure you take out time to enjoy some good music as well as a great book. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live today. You all make it a great one.